I often wonder how we got everything so wrong and how we never really listened to Jesus. Because why did Jesus really come? He came to show us what God was like. And time again he said, the Father and I are one. He who sees me sees God. I don't speak on my own behalf. I speak on the behalf of my Father. And I would presume that each and every one of you here this morning, one of the things you did, you looked in the mirror. You looked in the mirror. I did too. And we do it, don't we, many times a day. And what did you see? Now, don't answer that. Yeah. What did you see? And that's a lovely way of looking at the gospel this morning. Because here we have this Samaritan woman and we have Jesus. And Jesus, so to speak, he held up a mirror to her. And he said, look in the mirror. And he did that very compassionately and with consideration and no accusation or anything else. Just look in the mirror, very gently compassionate. And see your responsibilities. See your responsibilities. The deep responsibility you have. You have 5 husbands. The man you're living with now is not your husband. And the woman looked in the mirror and she began to tell him, yes, I have 5 husbands. The man I'm with now is not my husband. She took responsibility. She took responsibility. And people who have had a near-death experience, to a person, when they are resuscitated or revived, they all come back and say, I felt no fear, no guilt, no condemnation, no accusations. All I felt was a deep responsibility. A deep responsibility. How did I get it all wrong? Why did I not use more of the opportunities I had? Why did I not love more and serve more and do more for people? Because after all, they will realize for the first time that's what they were made for, to love. And perhaps that would be a good way of describing purgatory. From God's side, there is no accusation, no guilt, no dismissal, no put down, but just accept the responsibility you had. And that's what happens in the gospel this morning. And then Jesus switches the mirror around and he becomes the mirror. And what does he see in her? What does he see in her? He sees a broken, wounded, used woman. A broken, wounded, used woman. And does he condemn her? There's no condemnation. There's no accusation. There's no dismissal. But he accepts her totally as she is. And it's interesting in that reading from the gospel, she admits she had 5 husbands. The man she's with now, the 6th, is not her husband. And now she met the 7th man. And 7th in the scriptures that knows perfection. And she met the first man in her life who loved her just for herself. Because he saw in her, what did he see in her when he looked at her? He saw a wonderful person. He saw Christ in her. He saw in her a child of God, like each and every one of us are. And when God looks at us, what does he see? He sees Christ in each one of us. When we look in that mirror and we look at ourselves, what do we see? We see somebody not very good, somebody with lots of faults and failings, somebody not very worthy. Why can't we just accept that God lives in us? We have an indwelling spirit. And I can almost feel the gentleness and the compassion of Jesus at that moment when he looked at her, and his heart went out to her. It's a beautiful, beautiful. Just pause for a moment and think about that. His heart went out to her. Absolute love. Absolute love. And what happened? What was the effect of that love? She went back a totally new woman, forgot that she'd come for water, ran back and said, I met somebody real. I think I met the Messiah. Come and see. Come and see. She became an apostle. It's a beautiful story. And they came out and they saw what she saw. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. And hopefully from now on we're going to be like that. We're going to see everybody, see Christ in them, not be so judgmental and condemnatory. And nobody here, from myself down, nobody here is better than anybody else. We're all loved by God, absolutely. Isn't that a beautiful thought? And that's what we really need to focus in on that and dwell on that. Because when God looks at you, he sees nothing else, only love. Pure love, Christ. Amen.